sports is like kind of the last great unifier.
With the league MVP 2-time, that's Paul Rabil, the face of lacrosse.
Sports is the thing that actually brings people together in person. One of the last few things.
Rabil switches hands and scores! Paul Rabil.
What makes sports really exciting right now is that it is more defensible to AI than any other industry.
So many people are talking about the Premier Lacrosse League.
Every brand's trying to elicit a feeling from a consumer. And sports is one of the few things that can, like, with surety do it. That's why it's such a great advertising business.
Welcome to the Professional Lacrosse Hall of Fame.
It's clear to me, strength, speed, and endurance, you guys are at the top of your game. I want to flip that on its head. I've actually, Paul, heard you talk about in an interview that when you walk into a room of business people, do people think of you as the dumb jock?
That's why a lot of family members don't go into business together. It's psychological warfare.
That's been a family therapy with the Tiger Sisters.
Who can do more push-ups? Prove it.
Oh!
What's your squat?
105.
That's pretty good.
My PR last week.
That's pretty good.
I've been working up to it, okay?
Hell yeah. I like that.
All right, so today we have two forces of nature in the room, Mike and Paul Rabil. They are brothers, business partners, and the powerhouse behind the Premier Lacrosse League, where Paul serves as the president and Mike as the CEO. PLL is actually, I'm just gonna go off script. So like PLL is actually so revolutionary because it's the first of its kind. It's kind of this combination of like what you guys built. It's like the best of tech startups meets the best of like content creation in the media world, and then also the best of elite sports. So we are so thrilled to have you guys here.
So Paul is the greatest lacrosse player of all time in history.
Of all time.
And when I told my lacrosse bro friends that I was interviewing you, they said that you were the Tom Brady or A-Rod of lacrosse.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
And Mike is a former Dartmouth football player and a serial entrepreneur. He brings the business vision and the operational backbone to the PLL, and together they're the ultimate duo.
And Paul and Mike took a formerly niche sport and turned it into a global movement that is now even in the upcoming 2028 Olympics for the very first time. Mike and Paul, welcome to the Tiger Sisters.
Woohoo!
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've never actually had two guests on the podcast before, not to mention much less siblings. So this is a very special occasion for us. You know we're not a sports podcast, and we have a pretty big international audience that might not know what lacrosse is. So Paul, you've talked about how before, lacrosse has been around, played by Native Americans. It's been around since the 12th century. Can you just take a minute to tell us about, tell our audience and our community what lacrosse is in 1 minute?
Yeah. Well, if you've seen lacrosse before, it's probably less to do with us than it has to do with the game's been around North America for thousands of years. And it's been played in college since the 1800s. It was once in the Olympics in the early 1900s. We weren't building slam ball. We weren't creating a game from scratch. We came in and were like, this game is not servicing its stakeholders, the players and the fans, and the way that we believe it could, especially in this modern environment of tech and media. But underneath that is what we often say is we had to rebrand a sport and reintroduce professional lacrosse because it had existed.
Yeah. I mean, I think that all that's 100% true. I always say that I don't think we would be able to, take a step back. We are far from having made it whatsoever. So I'm surprised you guys even had us on our podcast. But, we finished our 7th season with the PLL. We are launching next year officially a women's league, the WLL, with four inaugural teams. And it's a huge fucking lift. And I would not be able to do it if I didn't have Paul. He is just a beast. And, it's the work that's required for not only a startup, but a sports league. And in the competitive environment where there's more capital coming in, so there's always other emerging sports leagues that are sucking up attention. And we also compete with the entire attention economy for watch time.
Totally.
So you need, especially early days, more output, more like strategic thought, a thought partner who has a different brain. We have very different brains, which is why we butt heads, but also good for the business. If he wasn't my brother, this thing would have already been done already, probably, because I would have quit. because I would have gone into way too many clashes with my co-founder. And so end of the day, and we have a lot of clashes, but end of the day, like a lot of the pain is like, we're just not giving up on each other.
Yeah.
So you grew up together and now you work together, kind of a similar story as us. What was your dynamic like as brothers growing up? Were you allies? Were you rivals? You're pretty close in age, or something kind of in between?
Yeah, I mean, I think our relationship has been pretty consistent. We're allies and we have been competitors. We had a rule that we set when we were teenagers that we had to play on the same team when we were playing pickup football or basketball or street hockey, because on opposite teams, we wouldn't finish the game without going to blows.
I think Mom set that for us.
Did she?
Yeah, in video games, we couldn't be on the same different teams.
Yeah.
You
Well,
had
you
to
needed
work
that.
together.
We would go to basically, if we played against each other, we start getting a fist fight.
Yeah.
So we had to be on the same team.
But the allyship's always been strong. We're 22 months apart. And I don't think we never had a grand plan to partner, certainly to this extent, together. We had always stayed close after both of us graduated, him from Dartmouth, me from Hopkins. For various reasons, this opportunity presented itself. And I want to say we rushed into it because it was one of those things of timing where there was an existing league. And different than a technology startup or another event business where if you don't have it just the way you want it, you can push the launch day back a little bit. And we couldn't do that when you're running a sports league because you're signing 200 players and you're selling tickets to fans and you're doing venue agreements and you have a network counting on you to deliver on June 1st. So it's actually just a dramatic, series of, moments that we have to execute on from when we decided, okay, this is a good idea to getting to the start line.
Well, I think
protecting
this
that
is,
space. So
this
I
is
imagine
like
you guys
the
do it.
perfect lead-in to this question that we have, which is for both of you actually. And it's more about so you guys have set out to build basically the NFL or the F1 of lacrosse. And our question, because we're kind of trying to do the same thing with Tiger Sisters, is what does it take to turn that vision into a reality? And how do you do it from building something from something really nascent to now you're at the point of scaling it? You're building out whole new adjacent. You're about to launch the women's league. So how do you tactically do that?
We're super ambitious, but a wholly owned model, so we own it all. A tour-based model, so you can get a lot of economies of scale with your costs. So you go to central locations and ownership of all the IP. So we're able to package and scheduling. So you're able to package deals with sponsors and your media rights partners really quickly, right? So it allows you to scale revenue, allows you to get really good distribution with your media rights partners. Now you take a step back. What has that done? Build a really good national business, but sports are really communal and hyper local as well. And so now we need to get to a place where we bring on some owners. And it's not just us and our front office and our investors. It's like, okay, let's find really great sports owners, because there's really great sports owners out there who want to invest in the team, who want to bring it to their community on a 365 basis, who want to build real estate around it or have existing real estate where they can bring the teams into it. And so that's going to give us that local that we've been missing and we've been building, but we just authentically need more of. And so that's like the next evolution. And coupled with the Olympics that you're saying, I think we'll add a lot of sort of scale that we're looking for. And then, look, the biggest thing that you need duration. You need time, because people are always like, when's it going to hit escape velocity? When's it going to hit escape velocity? Because they're always like measuring your tech. And we've raised some venture money. And so their LPs are like, it's been 7 seasons, what's up? And we're like, we're getting there. We're growing every single year. But at the same time, it's never, you can never predict like this. Like usually with tech companies, it's going to work or not. You have product market fit or not, it hits escape velocity, right? For this, it's like, with tech, it's either like this or it's like that, right?
Yeah.
And so for us, duration is really important. We have some really good long-term investors, but if you look, we were just talking about this in the car, like the NBA in the early 80s was tape delayed. They were losing tons of money, and then all of a sudden they got Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and went, look at the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, and all that she's done for them. And it's just, so you get a superstar, and so we think we have some early superstars, but a lot of it is sort of just being in the game long enough and showing consistent growth and pounding the rock. And so all of a sudden you turn around and you're like, whoa, okay, we're here now. So it's a little bit more context.
I love that. You guys are so complimentary.
I see how it works now.
Yeah.
Because you guys were kind of referencing it before. You're like, we have different skill sets. We have different kind of approaches to things. Now I'm like getting it. The picture is coming together.
Is it similar to you guys or different?
I think on the surface, we're pretty similar in training because I basically copied Jean's entire career. She's been my role model and she's 7 years older.
Yeah.
Right. So like
You guys both went to world-class business school, both worked in tech.
both work in tech. Exactly.
But I like made her like the better version of me. Cause like when I went to work in tech, I didn't have a engineering background, and that was really hard for me to get a product management job. So she was starting college at the time. So I was like, you have to get a computer science degree. And I kind of like forced her into it. And that's what, so she stepped into a tech role right away. She didn't have to go, like first I had to go through finance, which was like a total grind. Yeah. So she went straight into a PM role right out of undergrad, which is like kind of unheard of. Like literally she was one of 4 LinkedIn interns her year.
Yeah.
The product management's hard because it's like a leadership role right away. Because you're like intermediating between the business and the tech team and then making decisions. So usually they want to see a couple of years of that type of management training before you can jump in.
Yeah.
Right. And like the engineers, they would question me sometimes. They'd be like, well, you don't have an engineering degree. Why are you giving me feedback on that? So I was like, I'm going to make you bulletproof. Like no engineer is ever going to be able to question you because you are also going to have a CS degree.
And now you can just be like, just use Claude and code.
And how do you feel when she says that she helped you become a better version of her?
It's true. I think it's true because we have such a big age gap. I think it's something we're kind of like reckoning with now because like I've always looked up to Jean as my role model. She's my older sister. We have 7 years. She's been like kind of my second parent in that way. She used to babysit me and all that stuff. So now we're like peers working together as, co-founders, co-hosts, and so much more than that. So there's a little bit of like fine tuning that needs to happen right now where like you have to respect me and my opinions. And
I do though.
Yeah, but I think it took us like a little bit to get there because I think in some ways you see me as the younger child. I mean, I am, but I'll always be the younger child, but there's that.
I mean, one thing that everyone talks about is how sports is like kind of the last great unifier, right? Like sports is the thing that actually brings people together in person. One of the last few things. So there's that. That's like, I think we can all agree on that. And then I think the other thing to take it a little bit more like, economic, kind of political, one thing I think is that sports is like the last great export of the United States. And I'm not the only person to say that. I think Joe Tsai says that, one of your investors, right? Like that's like our last great chance for global hegemony for the United States. So it's like, I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Are you blowing Mike's mind right now?
The latter
I
or
heard
the
him say
former?
that, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Smart, sharp.
Yeah, I would also add what makes sports really exciting right now is that it is more defensible to AI than any other industry.
Yes.
Because I cannot prompt a skill, a physical skill. I can't. If I wanted to be a better lacrosse player, I have to get out every day and practice for hours on end against the wall, find teammates to dodge, shoot on net. It's the only way you're going to improve. And I heard Elon Musk say, yes, there will be a robot that, and probably already is, that you can bring out to the middle of the court in an arena that'll hit 100 threes in a row. And that'll go viral, and then it won't. Because people actually watch sports either consciously or unconsciously embracing and accepting the failure. Like when Michael Jordan has his iconic dunks, that's over another player. That player is feeling pain. Another fucking Michael Jordan highlight here that I get crossed over and dunked on, and that has to live. And AI in other fields is perfecting human error, and you need human error in sports. So it survives AI, which is, I think, going to be a long tail.
It's
value prop.
the agony and the ecstasy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's essentially what we're talking about is the feeling, right?
Yeah.
Is like a fan, a consumer, whether they're watching or in real life, doesn't know the feeling they're going to have. So it's that anticipation before that you're like, I'm either going to be really happy or really upset. And nothing can disrupt that. That's ultimately like human beings are driven off feelings, and sports is one of the last things, like you're saying, that can really elicit that feeling, that end state that you're not sure you're going to have before it. So there's this big anticipation and then like a payoff or a letdown. And there's like value in that. Every brand's trying to elicit a feeling from a consumer. And sports is one of the few things that can, like, with surety do it. That's why it's such a great advertising business, right? Because brands like, okay, people are going to watch it to get that feeling. So let's put our brands there so they're going to be assigned to that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I would say, strength, speed, and endurance is what Mike's talking about. And then I noticed you have Rick Rubin's book, Creative Act, back sitting behind you.
Yeah.
And the relationship that perhaps our league, our business can have with your business is we're all competing for attention. And the worst thing we can do is try to service what we think our fans want. Both of us. So what I believe the benefit is of being obsessed with lacrosse and loving our product as much as we do, everyone at the company is that way. And we, eat, sleep, drink, breathe this business, is that we have to create the content and the distribution, the production, the rules of the game, the way that we feature our players, such that it entertains us. Like, this is what we love about this player and about this team. And the bet that you make is that if you do that authentically and regularly and obsessively, that other lacrosse fans out there, they see that and they want that as well. And so for your guys' podcast, you have a unique point of view and you're consistent. And really all that matters is that you enjoy the show that you're putting together. And then I believe, like, the universe has a plan, and like, we want to be a top 5 team sports league, and we're going to do everything we can mathematically, energetically, financially to get there. But in our lifetime, we might not, but that won't be because of us. Just for the same reason, I think about, like,
Preach.
Yeah.
I love this.
I even think about movie stars.
You can't
Like,
force
it's
people.
just-
You can't force people to watch lacrosse. Like, you just, like, can't force it. So we're doing everything we can to hopefully get more fans to watch it every single year over year.
But you can't, like,
Right?
one way I've heard you put it before, Paul, is that you say you're conditioning your fans. Like, you
Well, we
can't
have to
force them,
condition-
but you can do everything else to
Right.
make
And
it the
that-
right conditions for
Yeah,
them,
and
right?
that note is about how I mentioned quickly the history of lacrosse, but there are lacrosse fans, a lot of them out there, that have grown up watching the college game on TV, and they had never watched the pro game, and they certainly have never gone to a pro game and paid a ticket price, sat in the stands on a Saturday afternoon in the summer and ordered concessions. So conditioning them to watch pro lacrosse, look forward to it, attend the games. That's what Mike had mentioned in the NBA. That's what David Stern and now Adam Silver as deputy commissioner at the time, did in the 80s and 90s. And that's a different strategy, right? Because that's like looking at your fan and telling them how to, show up to an NFL tailgate 4 hours before kickoff. Like, that was conditioned and created and became a part of the tribe of being an NFL fan. And that's a challenge.
Yeah,
And so
and it's like you're doing that at the same time that you're building the infrastructure for the PLL. You're like doing both at the same time, which is what's wild.
Yeah. And so you said strength, speed, and endurance. I love that.
I like those.
And
I clocked
defi-
that too.
I clocked,
I
we're like,
clocked that.
wait, that's so
Cherie's
good.
like, I'm gonna make a carousel of that.
I'm gonna make
Well, if
an
you guys
Instagram
think about
quote
it,
carousel.
even in the podcast game and the creator game, strength and speed is most commonly observed, and that's people getting out of the gates. But it's about your ability to endure over time, and that to me stems from your authentic passion and your care for whatever it is you're putting all your might into.
Yeah. I think it's clear to me strength, speed, and endurance. And also, Mike, hearing you talk about taking, the best of the tech world, the best of the media world, and the best of, like, the traditional sports world, and bringing that all together for the PLL. And it's clear to me that you guys are at the top of your game, energetically, financially. I want to flip that on its head, because I've actually, Paul, heard you talk about in an interview that you have imposter syndrome sometimes. Like, maybe when you walk into a room of business people, do people think of you as the dumb jock? So it's interesting hearing you say that when, like, from the outside, I'm like, oh my God, you guys are both so incredible. So
Well,
how
when
do you,
you're literally the GOAT. Like, it's
the greatest of all
right?
time for lacrosse. So
Yeah.
like, how do you overcome that imposter syndrome? And, like, what do you do do that?
I think, it's a good question. So I think some of it is good and healthy to have imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, ironically, is what most top athletes, entertainers have. Because, and I say ironically, is because that's what drives you. Like when you're, practicing on your own because you're worried about some, imaginary figure in West Texas who is working harder than you, that gives you your energy to do the last rep or another rep after that. That, father time is creeping, that if you turn your ankle, that you're never going to be fast again. And that was woven into the culture of sports via coaching for generations. And they're better than us. This is a trap game. If we don't show up here, we're going to lose and we're not going to accomplish our goal. And so that you have to sort of like embrace part of it isn't your fault. And then you also have to realize that imposter syndrome is what gives you your edge. And then once you're through that, you just have check downs. And some of that is like, is this coming from a place of not being enough? Is this coming from a place of just, insatiable desire? Both are sort of vices. And that's when you can go investigate your upbringing and certain pieces of even your adult life that led to that. And I think in one of the interviews you might be referencing is, it was hard for me as a professional lacrosse player at the top of my game, being paid $15,000 and looking across the aisle at an NBA or NFL or Major League Baseball player at the top of their game and seeing all of the reward that they were getting. And then on top of it, most people not even recognizing that there was professional lacrosse, or thinking that was the sport that the guys who got cut from the other leagues were doing. So I think that was like always a heavy piece. And that's made its way into probably the business world. When I walked into rooms, I carried that judgment with me. So anyway.
And in terms of expanding people's interest in the sport, you guys mentioned that you guys are introducing like women's lacrosse. Can you talk a little bit more about that decision? Because I think right now we're kind of at an amazing inflection point for women's sports.
Yeah. And that's credit to the WNBA. It's been around for 30 years. The NWSL, that's in its third iteration of professional women's soccer. And a lot of the investment that has happened by our predecessors into women's sports, much like an investment societally since really the 50s and 60s into women in the workplace. I also personally believe that women have a faster track record and a better track record and a faster path to becoming superstars. I think that women, going back to the advertising industrial complex, have always been featured more than men. And they are more empathetic often. They have more hobbies and interests that help them become, I think, probably more diverse to different potential audiences. And so I went on a little bit of a sidetrack because investing in the women's game not only made sense for us from a participation and a fandom standpoint, but when we also look at the women's stars of today, I believe they're superstars in the making.
It's about time that someone builds a platform around them. So we're excited to do that.
I'm really excited. I'm pumped for it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll host you guys.
Yeah, that'd be great. Should we do the bowl? Let's just do the bowl.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have one last segment here where we put in some questions in this beautiful matcha bowl, and you guys get to pick out one question and answer it. It's kind of just like a fun little break.
Okay, great. Let's do this. I got two. My bad.
You can read both of them.
You can read
one.
both.
One and choose?
Oh, man.
Okay. We actually don't know we don't know which one you
We
got.
don't know what they are.
Who can do more push-ups? Prove it.
Oh, I like that.
Who can do more
Bothered to
push-ups?
do push-ups right now.
I might be able to. I haven't done chest in a couple days, so I might be like in a good spot.
What do you think? You think you can do more?
I mean, I think you're lighter, so you'll probably beat me, but my chest is pretty strong right now.
What was the last time you AMRAP'd push-ups, and what'd you get?
Dude, my push-ups are, I mean, I don't know. My bench is pretty strong right now.
What is it?
But I'm also heavy.
Yeah.
So
Cherie bench presses.
you do?
No.
I haven't done a max,
I squat.
but I can throw. What's your squat?
105.
That's pretty good.
My PR last week.
That's pretty good.
I've been working up to it, okay?
Hell yeah. I like that.
I could probably get to 50.
50?
Yeah.
No break.
No break.
Dude, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, prove it.
I mean, if I really push myself, I could probably get to 35. Yeah, you could. I guess you could beat me then. I guess because you're light, but 50 is huge, dude.
50 is a big number. Yeah, but
no breaks.
No
When's
breaks.
the last time you lifted?
Well, my lifts were good until we had a baby.
Yeah,
and then I stopped lifting. But
so 50 pre-baby.
I was really.
Do they have gyms?
But
do they have gyms in London?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go to the Soho House.
Yeah.
But then I transitioned because I didn't work out for 12 weeks or so, and my buddy Kyle Harrison was like, you're not going to find an hour and a half for a workout, so just do 10 minutes of push-ups. So I do know that I've been able to rip 25 pretty
So you're
easily.
doing a lot of push-ups. Right?
Yeah, he's trained. He's been training for this.
Okay,
actually.
you've actually been training.
All right. So this question feels similar to what we've already discussed, which
We could
is
pick a
what is your
different
brother's
one.
greatest weakness and strength?
You can pick another
Pick a
one.
different
if
one.
it's
Yeah, because I could.
too
I mean,
similar.
I could hit that.
Let's go freshie.
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 Something matcha. Who's more likely to bend the rules to win?
Oh, wait, that's a good one.
This is juicy.
Probably me. I would say, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think. I don't. Yeah, bend's the right way to frame it.
Yeah.
Because you're not breaking.
Creative.
You're just bending.
You're the creative brother.
Yeah, and he's
Competitive,
relentlessly
psychotically
competitive, and that's why we would usually fight. Is I'm competitive, but Paul is just relentless.
It's just we get to a place which might be a stem of a lot of our disagreements, where both of us have to decipher the source of the disagreement. So sometimes in his head, it's like you're just trying to win.
Yeah.
And in my experience, it's like, no, I'm trying to meet him where he often wants me to pull, which is use data. And I think what we both agree to is we come into a disagreement with a strong point of view, and that's backed by a lot of care and research. So naturally, we wouldn't be in this disagreement if we didn't feel really strongly about this position. So if you have an impasse, then it's sort of all right, well, who's going to make the concession?
Yeah.
And I find a lot of disagreements sort of impossible to solve through logically. So you have to revert back to sort of empathetic perspective. And then there's a little bit just lives in romance too. There's a little bit of you take this one and I'll take the next one sometimes.
Yeah.
How do you guys handle it?
I think we should disagree more, honestly. We don't.
Disagree on a lot?
No, we don't disagree on enough.
Oh wow.
I want more fights. I want more conflict because since we do have a similar training and in talking about strategy and where we think things are going, it's been pretty aligned, which is nice. But I think in disagreement we could have maybe 10x crazier ideas and bring them to the table. I think more creative stuff would come out of that.
I think as long as you respect your strengths and areas of ownership. I see a lot of co-founder blow up, especially in tech, when there's overlay over the same shit all the time. They're both engineers or they're both business people, and they don't. And it's no, this is your area, this is my area. Of course, big decisions we have to make together, but you have to have mutual respect for the lanes that you cover and for your general just horsepower and effectiveness and throughput, right? So as long as that's there, you can solve a lot of the issues, right? Because so many people just jump in the business and they're like, oh wait, we're doing the same shit, and that's what we argue about, and this whole other area of the room hasn't been cleaned up yet.
Yeah, what's the saying? The bad things or difficult things come in threes. I think conflict shouldn't be consistent, but it will exist. And it's like friction. You need friction to run fast. You need your foot to hit the ground, create friction and force so you can push forward.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm naturally very non-confrontational. And I think there's also the protective element that you had said about Mike. I think maybe Cherie doesn't realize this. We actually just talked about this yesterday.
Our fight?
Yeah.
We had a fight.
We had a fight yesterday.
What was it?
I think I was being insensitive. Well, actually, yeah. I don't know.
Basically, well, okay. So an email came in for on Saturday for like the biggest deal we've ever
Biggest
endorsement-
brand deal
we've
partnership.
ever like been considering. Actually, I think I told you about it maybe. And it would be like 10x the size of any other deal we've ever done. I've been working on it for months because I sort of like lead the BD stuff. And an email came in on Saturday, which was they actually sent back the red lines. Like it was ready to go. And then the person sent a double email. So I missed the email with the red lines. But we worked on Saturday. We did like a photo shoot and went to like a Hall of Fame induction event thing. We worked on Sunday where we recorded a podcast. And then I didn't see it on Monday. And I emailed the person on Tuesday. I was like, hey, are those red lines ready? They're like, oh, we sent it to you on Saturday. So I felt so bad. I was like mentally beating myself up that I had missed the email on Saturday. Cause like I've been wanting to close this deal for like a month now, right? Like we've been so close. So like I was just like already internally feeling so shitty about myself that I missed this email. And I was like about to like burst into tears, even just like myself. And I like mentioned it to Cherie and like her response was not very empathetic.
Well, actually, it wasn't that it wasn't empathetic. I've also been wondering, I'm not on any of the emails for this deal, but I think about it daily. But I don't ask her daily, like, how's it going? How's it going? Because I don't want to breathe down her neck. But like, I think about it all the time because it's such a big, massive deal to close. And so when she told me that she missed the email, I was just like, oh, like, since this is such a big deal, I'm not on any of our like partnerships emails, and I don't think I should be on them because it's not my lane. But for this one that's so big, if I were on the email, I could have seen it over the weekend and possibly been like reminded her or, you know, like said something on Monday or Tuesday if I had seen it. I don't think I should be on any of the other emails. This one I think I should have been on. And I was like, oh, maybe you can put me on that email. I said it like that. It wasn't like, you suck, how could you miss this? It was like, could you put me on the email? Like, I think I should be on it. And for our content, we have, for all of our podcast episodes, the both of us review them because I mess up. I mess up sometimes when I'm editing. Things don't look good. There's a black mark. You need both sets of eyes because the content is our core product. I need you to look at what I mess up, and I admit that. So I think for this big partnerships deal, I think I should have the same eyes, 2 pairs of eyes on it as well.
Which I don't disagree with, but in the moment,
of course,
like I needed... Like what if she had said that to me, like I immediately would have been like, oh my God, don't even worry about it. We literally were working on Saturday. We were working on Sunday. You missed it for one day. Like it's Tuesday morning. Like the deal it's going through, right? Like don't worry about it all. Like we'll be good. But like she didn't respond with that.
Well, the interesting thing about
well, it's just the heat of the moment, right?
I should have been on the email, then maybe you wouldn't have missed it.
Well, this is the thing. There's 2 things that come to me for this. One is that working with a sister, or in our case, a brother, is more likely to induce in these moments our parents. So when I hear that, it probably made you feel like you were being parented. The irony is that situation I often feel is like you were coming in as if you're the older sister. There's just status in sibling dynamics, and like the eldest is meant to be the all-knower and support and fix, and I'll take over from here. So there was probably a sense of like, well, shit, this is, you know, my stuff. You're the younger sister. You know, my job is actually do it to you. And so I could see how that probably spun up. And the reality is like, you know, codependence is like you're actually all trying to come from the same space, but you're overstepping. You're coming from a place of care, but you're overstepping unknowingly, and it leads to like a blowout. You're like, what the fuck? I just care about the same thing that you do.
Well, if what I was going back to the beginning, I think all that's right. I think the issue is you shortcut the professionalism when you're siblings. So in a normal world, if you guys were just partners, you would have been like, man, we were working really hard this all weekend, and it sucks you missed it. I would like to be on those email moving forward. But like when you probably would have been cool with that. You'd be like, oh, she knows where I'm at. She meet me where I'm at.
Yeah.
Instead, like you skip through all that. You know all that because she's your sister, right? That happens with us all the time. I'll just be like, dude, why are you saying like that? Like, I'm in this too, right? Or whatever it is. And he'll do the same thing. Like, what's the update? I'm like, why are you pressing me? I'm on it, right? And the reality is like you're all over it. You missed an email. People miss emails, and you email them again on Monday. And like, that's not going to kill the deal.
Yeah.
It's actually all good.
Yeah.
Like if anything, that means that they know that you're like on it and you care.
Yeah.
And you're going to get it done. And so sometimes you're just like in those moments where sometimes what I've been trying to do is like, if I feel myself getting hot, I'll like try to pull out from it. Like I'm hot, take a second, breathe, calm down. and then I'll try to adjust.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to react after I pull myself out of it. So I'll just try to let my body tell me if I'm getting hot. And then if I just get hot and react, then I'll try to apologize real fast afterwards.
Well, I did apologize within 5 minutes. And
That's
then
pretty good.
5 minutes?
Within 5 minutes, because we had a meeting right after, and I had to apologize before that. But she said
I don't think it was 5 minutes.
it was 5 minutes. It was literally
Only
5
minutes, boys.
And she's just like, well, if you had said that in the beginning, I wouldn't have reacted like this. So I guess my learning is that apologies don't cost anything, and they mean a lot.
Totally.
But also, I will say the feedback I gave, probably timing was wrong because she already felt really bad, and I didn't realize how bad she felt. But like the feedback I gave felt kind of very professional to me, and like, oh, you just put me on the email, and like then we'll both be on it. But I think because she was in the heat of the moment, it felt very unprofessional, and then it felt like more of an attack. Then like I was like, I feel like I should be able to tell you these things.
But generally, even if you weren't partners, and if it was a sales associate, that feedback of saying, put me on the email implies that you wouldn't have missed it, knowing that she missed it. So it's all, no matter.
That's what I
No
said.
matter who you are, it's just.
It's a hot.
Yeah, and
triggering.
I've been there, and Mike's actually been there more with me because I'll make more mistakes, and he'll say, I got it. I'll have to jump in. And I was mentioning the sibling rivalry stuff because, when I hear stuff from Mike, or if he hears stuff from me, it lands different because we're brothers. We have so much history. We have 40 years of history, like hovering over each other and competing against each other.
Yeah.
And so it's psychological warfare at times, like, to just, and we don't even know because it's in our system. It's in our fiber.
Yeah.
So
You're working out like 40 years of just ingrained rivalry.
Yeah, it's just, and it's no one's fault. It's why a lot of family members don't go into business together.
But the ones who do make it big.
And we used to always say, like, you get this undying loyalty.
Yeah.
And commitment and respect and pace and strength and endurance.
Yeah. I mean, you'll never have someone as committed as your sibling.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. And that's been family therapy with the Tiger Sisters, business therapy with the Tiger Sisters. Thank you for joining.
And I guess to wrap this up for people watching this, like where can they find more on your socials, on the PLL? How should they follow you?
I would follow the PLL. We're at PLL across most accounts, at Premier Lacrosse on X. And our games are on ESPN and ABC every summer. And the WL is at WLL. Across all accounts, and you can visit our website, it's premierlacrosseleague.com. And we look forward to entertaining you.
Yeah.
Buy tickets.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be back in February. Games start back up in February.
We'll be
Around
here.
the corner.
Ready.
There you go.
Yay.
Thanks, guys. Yay.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.